welcome y'all to Backwoods Obscura, a podcast dedicated to the lore, legends, and myths surrounding the creatures that may lurk in your backyard. My name's Hewitt.
I'm Chris.
How you doing, man?
That burp that I just did that you're going to edit out just came straight out my nose.
Okay. Cool.
Other than that, today's, I have a homework assignment that's due in 2 days that I've only written a paragraph for.
I'm hoping to have homework again soon, but also I am like 20-something hours into Veilguard.
Yeah, I keep seeing you posting pictures.
Yeah, I got the Kirkwall. It's called Kirkwall's Finest, but it's, Hawk's armor from 2.
All the jagged, pointy bits that make no sense.
Yeah, I was like, I'll have this. Because, so far I haven't really enjoyed a lot of the armors, even though they're, varied and everything. But, the only other 2 I've done is either the Mass Effect, because you have, a Mass Effect jacket, where it's, the N7 look, where it's blue with the red stripe, or I just did, a generic, overcoat, rogue's coat sort of deal. Everything else, there are some cool armors. I'm not saying all the armors look bad, but for what my character is, it's I don't want too flashy of stuff. Or I don't want
It's not vibing with Lavandra.
Yeah, but I was yeah, I'm gonna wear the Kirkwall stuff.
Nice. I have not played video games, and so I'm gonna be honest. All week,
You haven't played a video game?
no, all week I have been in bed 30 minutes at this point. I have been
30 minutes.
Well, Monday night, took my son to Baton Rouge. He goes to bed at 8, which means I went to bed at 8. I got food poisoning in Baton Rouge, so when I got done feeling like I was dying at that moment, I curled up in a ball. It happened to be about 8:05. Went to bed with the baby Wednesday night, went to bed with the baby about 8 o'clock. And then last night, Em and I both went to bed with the baby at about 8 o'clock because she does not sleep all night, which means get that sleep when you can. So I have legit, at 8 o'clock, I zonked out.
Shit. At least you're getting something.
It's
a little bit of sleep.
It's when I can.
Yeah. Just whenever it shows up, this little pixies are here's some sleeping sand.
Get the fuck out of my house, Faye. But let me throw something that is a bit of a palate cleanser for the last couple videos or audios that we've recorded, and just 2024 in general. Have you ever heard of the Red Ghost of Arizona?
No, I haven't.
Okay, this is a fun one. So, is because the Ghost of Arizona is 100% real.
Oh,
I'm not doing this as Hewitt says Bigfoot's real. Hewitt says certain ghosts are real. The Red Ghost of Arizona, 100% documented as real. It's just weird as fuck.
Oh, okay. I'm willing to listen.
So let me describe.
Do I have to put on my skeptic's hat to see?
No, you don't, because again, this is 100% fact. This is
I'm saying that if you're gonna describe okay, so I'm gonna assume you're gonna describe the story in a way that is supernatural.
Yes.
So can I put on my skeptic's hat to kind
of? Yes, you can. Put your trilby on.
I'm putting my trilby on.
Brush your neck beard.
I'm sorry. I am so sorry about that.
Now, let me describe the Red Ghost of Arizona. It is a massive 4-legged beast with a undulating body. Large, heavy-set body as well. Has a cry that sounds somewhere between a ruptured horn and a gurgling vat of liquid.
That's weird.
It has a long, obtrusive neck.
Giraffe.
No. A odd-shaped head full of yellow, jagged teeth. It's covered in a thick, dense, red, shaggy fur.
Border collie.
It spits a viscous, burning, sticky liquid at you when it becomes angry as a defense mechanism. And upon its back, almost as if it was part of the creature, was the bleached remains of a human rider that would stare directly into your soul with its empty, soulless sockets.
Okay, wait a minute.
So
it's like a weird, bizarre chimera creature, but it has like a skeleton riding on it.
Yeah, it is this terrible, weird amalgamation creature that...
See, I was doing the jokes on like, you know, as a giraffe or something, and
Not a giraffe.
and now I'm like, I'm
You got any clue what this is just from the description I gave you?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. So, let's go to the sightings before I get to the history of this creature. In 1883, a cattle rancher's wife saw a reddish beast ridden by the devil himself bounding across the property, so she locked herself in the house and waited for her husband to come home and held a shotgun at the door in case the devil came in.
Uh-oh.
The same year, the farmer next door came home to find his wife trampled by a very large unknown creature as she had been out in the field taking care of chickens. It looked like she'd been bent over throwing out feed, and something literally ran her over and stomped her to death.
Oh, no. So she got ran over by a reindeer?
No.
Oh.
Now, a week later, prospectors said they saw this creature with the devil on its back destroying their camp when they came out the mine. In 1884, there was claims of a 30-foot tall beast attacking and knocking over wagons in this area. A cowboy tried to lasso the beast and tame it, but was drugged nearly to death and drugged through cactuses. Which, you know, people make jokes about, like, cactuses and stuff, but if, like, go watch, like, I hate to say it this way, go watch one of the newest Jackass movies when their new version of Preston jumped off of a trampoline into cactuses and, like, had to go get stitches and also had to have some of the quills surgically removed because they could not pull them out of him. Cactuses are actually no joke.
They're essentially like quills, like for
nature's plant porcupine.
Yeah.
Prospectors also claim they saw the thing eating a grizzly bear.
That's
Yeah. 1883, the Mojave County Miner newspaper dubbed it the Red Ghost. So in 1883, it finally got its name.
You know, this is sounding familiar. Would this thing happen to be in a game I played?
It might be. I've never played either of the Red Dead Redemptions.
I wasn't talking about that one. I was talking about a game based in the Mojave Desert.
I don't believe this appears in Fallout New Vegas. It would have been a great thing for the Weird West.
True, like
or the Weird Waste. Like the Weird Waste, if this popped up in that, would have been great. 1886, a posse tried to shoot it, but they missed, and they shot the skeleton's head off, finding that it had skin and hair on it still, like a mummy.
Huh.
I
mean, okay, not to interrupt, but I mean, you know, after a while, the skin up there kind of, I mean, you don't have to be mummified for that, I don't think.
No, but they're still finding, like, skin and hair being attached as if it was a mummified remains. Not just like, oh, it's a skeleton. Like, there is still fleshy bits that have been dried and, like, it was being held together by its own leather.
So it was like a spooky mummy man.
Yes. Spooky mummy man on the back of a monster. Now, in 1893, here's a heck of a name for you. Mizzou Hastings.
Mizzou Hastings?
M-I-Z-O-O, Mizzou Hastings. Killed the beast while it was eating in his yard.
Like, name, I couldn't get a read on gender until you said the pronouns, and I was like, oh, okay. I mean,
yeah, he killed the beast while it was eaten in his garden, and that's when he recognized 100% what this creature was. So let me go back over its description. It is a massive four-legged beast with a heavy-set undulating body, a long neck, yellow crooked teeth, that has a terrible call that sounds like a horn that's busted mixed with gurgling water, or another way to put it, a busted muffler for a more modern context, and it spits at you when it gets mad.
It sounds like some sort of reptile.
What shape does an undulating body make?
I'm sitting here thinking, I'm sorry, future Chris. Like a worm?
Its body is very heavy and undulating along the back.
Undulating along the back. Camel?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Are you serious? A camel?
He realized this was a dromedary camel that had a dead body stuck to it.
So wait. Like this entire time, like some fucking fool died on this camel.
Yes.
And
Now,
like he was just running around.
So the saddle had been tightened to this creature and been on it so long, and you'll realize how long here in a second, that it had scarred the animals, and in some versions, skin had healed over the leather straps.
Ooh.
So that literally the saddle and the lower parts of the legs of this dead man were physically part of the camel because it kept rubbing it raw, and as it healed,
Yeah,
it kind of healed
there's been
over.
Like, I think there's actually been like recent like accounts of stuff, not with camels specifically. I'm just like talking about like people who are immobile and don't move and don't
fusing, lack of a better term, fusing with
yeah
what they're sitting on. So yeah, that's 100% what the Red Ghost of Arizona was. Is it was a dromedary or a Bactrian camel that its rider died, and it just kept doing what he was doing.
He was like, I'm just gonna go find food. Oh shit, there's someone here.
Pretty much. And also think about, like, if you haven't seen a camel, we're talking about 1800s. Most people have not seen one of those knock-kneed bastards, okay? Because camels and I do not get along. Because I don't think camels get along with anything.
Like, let's be real, they tolerate people at the best of times.
I think they have a little bit of low-lying hate at all times. Like in Pyramids by Terry Pratchett, there is a camel known as You Bastard. And he is the greatest mathematician in the world. But because humans named him You Bastard, he isn't telling them shit. Which was 100% one of the most camel things I read.
That's fair. You know, I sympathize with that camel, or empathize. But
Tiny bit.
Okay, so here's the thing. One, my Skeptic Cat didn't work. Get out of here, Skeptic Cat. You didn't hear it, but it crashed, and it just knocked a whole bunch of stuff
It took
over.
the whole new atheist movement with it.
But two, like, I'm just thinking about how this dude fucking died on this camel.
Well, there is some questions about that, but let me get to that with the history. So in 1848, America took Arizona, New Mexico, California, and Nevada from Mexico in the Mexican-American War.
Okay.
Then in 1854, the U.S. purchased a portion of what is now the New Mexico-Arizona border from Mexico. Like the reason Arizona has that weird slant to it, and why New Mexico is a stair step and not based along a river, is because of the Gadsden Purchase, which established the border that we have with Mexico today. So now we have the entire southwest of what is the United States in our possession, and we need to explore it. We need to go look at it. Also, to quote the U.S. military, deal with the native situation in the area that Mexico complained about.
Yeah.
Like, Mexico's like, yeah, fine, you won the war, you took it from us. By the way, the Apache are going to fucking hate you.
Yeah, you have fun with the Apache, motherfucker.
But also, again, the biggest thing is this area is traditionally desert. So when, in the late 1840s, early 1850s, the military went to explore, horses are dying, mules are dying, because they're not used to that dryness. So, in 1854, Secretary of War Jefferson Davis, which that name should ring a bell to you.
No,
The eyebrows went up. So before he became the president of the Confederacy, he was Secretary of War.
Right.
Also, apparently, when he was a cadet at West Point with Robert E. Lee, Robert E. Lee didn't want to have anything to do with him because he thought Jefferson Davis was a drunk. And Jefferson Davis actually caused an eggnog rebellion at West Point because they smuggled liquor in because they were told they couldn't have liquor, and they made their own eggnog. And in that eggnog was a gallon of rum, a gallon of good whiskey, and 2 gallons of fucking moonshine. And they nearly overthrew West Point while drunk. And Robert E. Lee's like, piss off, I'm going to bed. I want nothing to do with this. Jefferson Davis started it and realized somebody was going to start a fire, and then he left and went to bed. So apparently there's some other fun facts about these individuals that have hashtags next to their names when they were kids. But Jefferson Davis was the Secretary of War, and he established the U.S. Camel Corps for the whopping price of $30,000, which in 1854 monies was a lot.
That's a good bit of money.
So 70 camels were eventually acquired from North Africa and the Ottoman Empire.
So the Ottoman Empire was just like, yo, you want some camels? Here you go.
Oddly enough, the U.S. and the Ottoman Empire didn't have bad relations in the early 1800s. Up until we apparently didn't have bad relations with North Africa and the Ottoman Empire, like the Middle East, until the last part of the last century. Like, apparently in the 1800s, we did some decent business together.
I mean,
because we didn't try to colonize them.
Like, not to get into like American history in the 1900s.
Yeah, yeah. So
some things happened.
Now, so we get camels from the Ottoman Empire. We get some Bactrian camels, and we get some dromedary camels. Now, in 1859, the first camel expedition was launched for New Mexico from San Antonio. The commander refused to pay the Ottoman camel drivers because he didn't understand what they were saying. So, to quote the document, I'm not going to pay these Mexicans to drive camels.
Oh, my God. So, wait, he called...
Yeah.
And I'm assuming the Ottoman Empire is modern day
Turkey, Syria, Lebanon,
so they were
Israel, Egypt.
They
were speaking Turkish.
Yeah, that's what I was.
They were speaking Turkish, and
I was thinking it was Turkish, but I was hedging my bets because I didn't want to look like an asshole.
So they spoke Turkish, they spoke Greek, and both of the camel drivers spoke English.
Wait, what? So they spoke English.
Yes.
And this man was like, I can't understand these Mexicans.
Because they spoke British English.
Oh, my God.
So,
America's cooked.
So,
America was cooked 200 years ago.
100-something years ago. So, he didn't pay them, so they didn't go. They're like, all right, we're going to stay in San Antonio. And so they took about half the camels, and the soldiers did not know how to deal with them. So the animals caused a lot of problems, and they lost a lot of stuff along the way. However, the commander did say that the camels handled the heat so much better than horses because they lost... Okay, first off, from San Antonio to El Paso took them 5 weeks. Which, to be fair, that's not terrible time when you're on foot and you're traveling through a whole Texas.
Yeah.
Because you travel through a whole Texas, and there's still a whole Texas. But I mean, San Antonio to El Paso is almost as far as from where I am to my in-laws that are near Chicago.
Yeah.
So he goes, well, they handled this very well. We lost several horses. So send word back to them Arabs, and we will pay them.
Oh, my God.
So
I don't even think Ottomans are Arab.
No, they're not.
Yeah,
Arabs live on the Arabian Peninsula, and it's a separate ethnic group from the Turkish people that lived in the section of the Ottoman Empire that the camels came from. So these men were either Syrian or Turkish. So they paid them, back paid them the $15, $5 a month to come help. And
okay, to be fair, $5 a month is...
Back then was. So this is where... I did not write down the men's real names because I could not pronounce them. However, what they were listed as in the documents were Greek George and High Jolly. High Jolly's real name was Ali something. And they're like, High Jolly. I'm like, I put this in here just because we have to laugh at like We haven't gotten any better. Like,
like I
we
was just
haven't.
thinking that I'm thinking of like, you know, all of the '80s comedies that were based in the Middle East.
If this was
that were like,
if this was the 80s, it would have been George the Greek. So, any case, with that little bit of racism out of the way, yeah, the very first couple expeditions with the camels with the U.S. military were actually considered a success because the camels were handling the environment. However,
to an extent, it was a success.
well, user error.
We confused these Turkish people with
Mexicans, and
Mexicans
then called
and
them
Arabs.
Arabs. But then they said, well, you gave me my money, so
Oh fuck!
I guess I'm high jolly. I don't give a shit. You're going to pay me again. But here's the problem is this all happened in 1859. What kicks off in 1860? Lincoln got elected.
Right.
South Carolina secedes. Jefferson Davis becomes the president of the Confederacy. And it turns out the biggest supporters for the Camel Corps were actually from
the Union.
the South.
Oh,
so a lot of these Confederates thought what would be Confederates thought the camels were a good idea because they wanted to expand into New Mexico and Arizona and Southern California. Well, not Southern California because California came as a free state, but they wanted to go into these territories that would have been below a certain line that eventually got
right.
So they thought, hey, slave territory, I can get camels. They thought this was great to explore the territory.
They're like,
But-
yeah, we're gonna make the Confederacy huge.
Well, when they were still in the Union, they supported them. When they
right.
left, they went, well, we don't have camel money in the Confederacy because we're fighting a war. And then the Union goes, we don't have camel money because we're fighting a war. And they kind of forgot about the camels in the 1860s.
Uh-oh.
So over the whole course of the Civil War, the camels were just abandoned and allowed to be camels in the American Southwest and Northern Mexico because camels don't respect borders.
The problem for the camels is, like the wildlife here does not respect camels.
Well, no, the thing is that a camel is the size of a freaking moose. There's not like a mountain lion comes down and sees a camel and goes, oh, fuck that. An alligator pops out the water with one very lost camel in Louisiana. Fuck that. Like, there wasn't anything messing with them, so they just kind of continued to breed. And eventually the Confederacy did capture 70 camels.
70?
70 of these camels, and they tried...
Wait. How many camels were there to begin with?
So originally we brought 70 over, and then camels did what camels do for a couple years.
Okay.
And so there may have been 200 wild camels at one point in the southwestern United States.
Are you telling me if we did not get this problem settled, there would be wild camels in America?
There might still be.
Oh my God.
So the 43rd Mississippi Infantry adopted one of these camels as their mascot and named it Old Douglas and buried it with full military honors when it died.
Oh, that's sweet.
But it is buried under a Confederate flag.
Oh, that's not as sweet.
Just like one U.S. president is. Because he defected. Anyway, so they just kind of wandered the Southwest and Mexico for the better part of the 1800s. Some were hunted, some were captured. One got captured and sold to someone in British Columbia. So there's just this one camel, completely hot weather creature, living in British Columbia.
I don't suspect that thing lived long.
It actually lived for a fair while. The last reported sighting of a wild North American camel was in 1941 in Arizona.
1941
was the last documented case of seeing a wild dromedary camel in Texas. 1939 was the last time one was seen in New Mexico, around the same time for Arizona. There are still reports of them being in northern Mexico.
Okay,
so they might still... The cryptid aspect of this is they might still actually be...
So this episode is the cryptid is the camel. The camel's the cryptid in this episode.
Sort of. Now, how did a skeleton get attached to the back of one of these camels?
I'm assuming someone just died on
A
the back.
soldier, a camel might have bolted, and a soldier might have been stuck and could not have untied himself because he got tangled in the leathers. There's also a chance that the skeleton was a prospector that was using the camel, because a lot of these camels did get bought eventually and used as draft labor animals. So it could have been a prospector that's like, well, my camel is going to lead me to water because camels can find water in the desert. I'm going to tie myself to it. And then he completely forgot the reason camels can walk across a damn desert.
It's because they got them big ass humps.
Those humps full of water and fat that it can survive on. And so he
perished.
He perished. And then this camel walked around for God only knows how many years. Which, by the way, let me use the handy dandy internet to look something up. How long do camels live? 50 years.
How long can they go without water if they have big humps? Can you look that up? Can you tell me how big them humps have to be for them to go without water for a long time? He's looking stuff up.
15 days.
15 days. 15 days without
2 weeks. 2 weeks
They go
without
2
water.
fucking weeks without water?
And then when they drink, they will drink like, you know, the pools we have out at 4th of July every year in my backyard?
Yeah.
They'll drink one of those.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Camels are crazy.
Yeah. They also have 2 sets of eyelashes.
You know what?
Keep out the sand.
You know what's crazy too? It's like they have that little mating call with their face. Like they stick that that weird worm thing out.
That's their tongue.
Is it their tongue? I thought it was like a whole different organ.
I thought it was their tongue. I don't know. I don't like camels because I got bit by a camel as a child, okay? I did nothing wrong.
You have trauma with camels.
I didn't do anything wrong, and this massive mutated horse bit the hell out of me at the zoo. I was just there, man.
So this guy was like just sitting there
And died on the back of this camel, and then the camel just...
was like, fuck it, whatever.
I got a hood ornament. Kind of like how orcas are now making salmon hats, and they haven't done that in 37 years. Like, they brought it back. Like, orcas are smart enough to have fashion.
Hey, you know, they're psychotic enough for fashion, I guess.
Hey, look, right now, the deep sea murder panda is on my okay creature list because they're sinking yachts.
Oh, that's cool.
They are still sinking yachts off the coast of Spain.
Mm.
And we found out why they're doing it.
Why is that?
They are bored.
That is like that's actually the most orca thing you could have said.
Like, at first they're like, are they teaching the young to hunt? No. Because like they would let smaller boats go. Like they just started attacking yachts, and it wasn't like for food or anything. They just got bored and decided we don't like this one type of boat.
It's like,
so we're going to sink them. And they don't eat the people or eat anybody on the boat. They don't fuck with any of the humans. They just sink the boat and leave. And I'm like...
it's funny, like just imagining them like completely circumventing like fishing boats.
Mm-hmm.
And then just going to the rich-ass people in the yachts and just being like, this is my target now.
Fuck your second marriage crisis.
No.
But no, like, I'm not messing with the apex predator of the fucking ocean, my man. Like,
No, I ain't.
Free Willy can... You know what? Free Willy, keep attacking the yachts. I'm with you.
Yeah, go ahead. Do what you need to do.
Now, there is a statue dedicated to the Red Ghost as well as High Jolly.
Of course.
There is a monument in Quartzsite, Arizona to them because High Jolly actually stayed in Quartzsite, Arizona until he died.
Stupid question. Well,
Yes.
you just answered the stupid question.
He stayed there until he died. He worked with camels and other people.
Well, here's the thing. I was going to be like, was High Jolly the man on the back? It's like, well,
No.
High Jolly was Turkish, so he would know how camels work.
He would have been like, I know how to get out of the damn saddle.
Or I know how camels operate and how to live in the desert, unlike you assholes.
Greek George went back home.
Good for him. I'm glad the happy ending here is like the two people from the Ottoman Empire were like,
my wife showed me this, and like the picture, like the AI generated image was so fucking metal because it was a skeletal cowboy on a flaming camel. And I was like, oh my God. And then she said, you have to look this up. So I looked it up and I was like, oh my God,
this is the funniest thing.
This is actually real. This isn't like a joke. This isn't fake. This is 100%.
I'm just picturing
real.
like this AI image of just like skeletal cowboy sitting there pointing.
It's like
and then
it's
this
like
giant beast.
It's Ghost Rider, man. It's
yeah,
literally
it's
Ghost
like that,
Rider.
and then like you see the real image. It's just a camel with this fucking corpse just bouncing around like a
but
puppet
also,
on the back.
let's be fair. One, this should have been in Fallout New Vegas.
It should have been in Fallout New Vegas.
It should have been a weird.
It
It should have been a Weird West thing of like all of a sudden you see a camel with a skeleton stuck on its back, like run
or
by.
Or it could have just been a whole mini quest.
So I mean, like, it's one of those that when I found out, I was like, it's again one of those things. Truth is weirder than fiction, but also imagine like you're just out handling your cattle in Arizona, and a fucking camel, which you've never seen that thing before, and a dead body come by. How spooky is that?
I mean, it would be fairly spooky. Even if I knew what a camel was, if we were outside, having a couple of beers, and we're starting a bonfire.
Yeah, and then a camel jumped over my fence
with a corpse on the back,
and then crashed through the other fence.
We would be like, "What the fuck?"
We'd be going in. We would stop trying to set a fire, and we would go inside and never come outside ever again.
We would like go into your shed and be like, okay,
all right, did we just
was it a corpse? Was that a corpse?
Did we just
see Ghost Rider, but it was a camel?
Oh god. So my sources were, I did go to Wikipedia so that I could get some general statements and get links to some other places. I also went to www.military.com, history of how the Army failed camels.
That's fair. Yeah.
Astonishinglegends.com, the Red Ghost of Arizona. And Notes from the Frontier, the strange tale of the Red Ghost of the West. Look, we've had some dark, deep stories, some twisted stuff recently. We've had personal stuff that's been pretty not fun. I needed to tell you just a goofy ass little story because I mean this is a weird one. Like this one's it's not a cryptid.
It's a fun one though.
However, I guess the camels could be considered a cryptid because we don't know if they're still
right
out there. But we know it's a real creature. We know the Red Ghost is real. Some of the stories are fake, but seriously, man, this one was fun.
Yeah. I enjoyed it, and if you did too, we are Backwoods Obscura, and we release every Tuesday. We are also Team Bonus Action.
Team Bonus Action is a charity live play RPG video game and tabletop group that at the point this is going to come out, we are probably no longer partnered with Extra Life. We might be partnered with the Trevor Project or St. Jude again. Any and all donations made the Team Bonus Action always go towards a charity geared to help children because we need to pay it forward and make sure the world is a better place for the age groups coming up behind us.
Yeah, and I hope you enjoyed this story, and I hope you have a good day or night or whatever time it is over there.
And hey, don't get yourself stuck to a camel.
Oh, you're gonna bob around like a damn muppet.